Hi, my name's Josh and I'm a guitar tutor for South Lanarkshire Leisure and Culture, and today we're going to be learning some more basic guitar chords. So, if you remember last week we learned the G and the E minor chord. We're going to recap those two chords and then we're going to learn a C and a D chord. So, first of all, let's recap the two chords we learned last week, starting with the G. Now if you remember, the G chord required just one finger, your third finger. So if you remember, each of your fingers had a number, with your pointer finger being finger 1, your middle finger being your second finger. This finger here is your third, and your pinky, of course, is your fourth. So you're going to take your third finger and you're going to put it in the third fret, the third box of the bottom string. So count along 1, 2, 3, and you're going to push that in. And then you're just going to play the bottom 4 strings like this, missing the top 2, just playing all 4 of those strings while holding in the third fret of the bottom string. So that's your G. So that's one of the ones we did last week. And the other one we did last week was the E minor. So taking the same finger, your third finger, but this time you're going to place it in the second fret of the D string. So the second fret of the D string, which is the 4th string from the bottom, or the 3rd string from the top, and you're going to push that in, and then play the same 4 strings that you just played for the G, like that. Okay, so second fret of the D string, and then you're just playing down the bottom 4 strings. So that's the ones we learned last week. So to start off, just try strumming each of them 4 times. 4 in the G and then 4 in the E minor, just as a warm up like this. So 4 Gs, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 4 E minors, 1, 2, 3, 4. And once you've done that, just go back to the G and then to the E minor. 4 times each, just playing through them, just getting familiar with those chords again. Okay. So we learned them last week, so let's learn a new one. This time it's the C. Now instead of using your third finger, you're going to use your first finger this time. So your pointer finger, and that's going to go on the 1st fret of the B string, the 2nd string from the bottom. So you're going to put it in the 1st fret this time of the B string, and this time we're only going to play the bottom 3 strings. So we're not going to play these 3. We're just going to play these 3 here, and you're going to strum them down. So that's your C. Okay, so just the bottom 3 strings with your first finger on the 1st fret of the B string. Okay, so once you've done that, try and play it 4 times like this. Okay, practice doing that for a while, just putting your finger in the 1st fret of the B, strumming it 4 times, and then just taking your finger off, and then putting it back on again and doing the same. Okay, so once you're confident with where to put your finger for the C chord, we're going to go back and we're going to add that in with the G and the E minor. Okay, so we're going to play all 3 chords like in a wee song. So starting with the G, we're going to play that 4 times, then we're going to go to the E minor, play that 4 times, and then to the new one, the C, and play that 4 times. So starting with the G, it's the 3rd finger in the bottom string, on the 3rd fret. And then we're going to go to the E minor, which is the same finger in the 2nd fret of the D string. Go to the C, so 1st finger and the 1st fret of the B string, and it's just the bottom 3 strings this time, and you're going to strum them 4 times. Okay, and then after the C, just go back to the G, play that 4 times, E minor, and then to your C again. Okay, and once you're practicing, just try and do that as many times as you can. Make sure that you know those chords off by heart before we move on to the next one, the D, because the D is actually a bit more tricky. So at first, just keep practicing those 3, getting confident at where they are and try and play them one after the other, because the switching is quite often the hardest part for beginners. So if you just can practice each one moving between them, that will really help you get better. So once you're able to do that, you can attempt the D chord. So the D chord's slightly different than those ones we've did there, because you need more than one finger for this chord. Whereas in those ones, you either used your third finger or your first finger. For the D, you need your first, second, and third finger. Okay? So, to start, you're going to take your first finger, your pointer finger, and you're going to put it in the second fret of the G string. Okay? And then, with your second finger, you're going to put that on the E string, the very bottom string, on the second fret as well. So you miss a string, and then you're going to put your second finger on the second fret of the E string. Now, on the string you missed, you're going to put your third finger there, but this time in the third fret. Okay? It makes a sort of triangle shape, or I like to think of it as a wee triangle. So, first finger on the second fret of the G, miss a string, and then your second finger goes on the bottom string, the E string, and then your third finger goes on the third fret of the B string, completing the triangle. And this time it's 4 strings, just like the G and the E minor. You miss these 2 strings here and you play the bottom 4. Okay? This one might take you a wee while just to get your fingers to rest where they should, but just keep practicing it. What to do is, once you get the shape, just strum it a few times, maybe 4 times, and then take your hand off and just try and make it again. This will take you a wee while at first, but before long you'll get it really quickly. So we'll recap that one more time. It's your first finger on the second fret of the G string, your second finger on the second fret of the E string, the very bottom one, and then your third finger on the third fret of the B string, and you're going to strum down the bottom 4 strings. Okay? So once you're able to do that and you think you've got it, you can play the chord, take your hand off, and then play it again. Now we'll try and add that into the other 3 chords. Okay, so the G, the E minor, the C, and then we're going to add in the new one, the D. So, like before, we're just going to strum that 4 times each. So we're going to go 4 in the G, 4 in the E minor, 4 in the C, which is just 3 strings, remember, and then 4 on the D, the new one, and then just back to the G. And just keep doing that as many times as you can. Of course, as I said, the D is probably the one you're going to find the hardest to get to, but don't worry about that. And if you are finding it really hard, don't go as fast as I'm doing it. Slow it right down to maybe a speed like this. And then switch, so you have more time to switch. Okay, so at first it's probably best to go really slowly, and that will help you just find the chords and you'll get more confident with doing them. So if you go practice those chords, maybe start off with the ones we did last week, the G and the E minor, and then add in the next one, the C, practice that for a wee while, and once you can play those 3 together, start working on the D, practice that chord, and then once you can do that, play them all together, and that will be you for the week. And then next week we'll come back and we'll learn a couple more chords.